Live from New York.
Better.
All the way back.
All the way back.
Because it's April Fool's Day, I promise you a show with no jokes. Rick had a joke this morning.
No joke.
That's where we're at. He's like, you guys should all trade seats.
Well, yeah, that would be just
That'd be interesting.
ratings bonanza.
Right, just nothing.
No jokes today. I'm
You
serious.
can't do it. Is that in addition to being arguably the greatest athlete in American history, arguably, just pure athlete.
Okay. Jim
He is
Thorpe is
also-
fired up right now.
But
Just saying.
there's a discussion, and
Sure.
Jim Thorpe can be in it too, but LeBron James is in it. He also is one of the hardest working athletes in American history because he just did this at 39 years old, and it was 40 points on 9 3-pointers. So to add something to his game, that's where the work ethic comes in. When LeBron came into the league, he wasn't much of a shooter. The strategy in the 2007 finals, when his first time he got there, San Antonio, was to give him the jump shot. And it was the same thing in 2013. Give him the jump shot, all right? And now he goes out at 39 years old and hits 9 threes. And it's not just what we saw yesterday. He's shooting 41.6% from three, which this is a sign of how good they shoot it today. He's still only 21st in the league, but still 41% from three is incredible. And so LeBron, having accomplished all he has, for him to add the three-point shot to his game, it's just a testament to his work ethic. Even last year, I know it was an aberration, but last year only shot 32% from three. He's a 34%, almost 35% for his career. So this year, he's just showing how much work he put in the offseason and even now. And I'll say this, I mean, if he had shot the three like this in his prime, there'd be no GOAT debate. I mean, this would be ridiculous. If he shot it like this in his prime, but still to add it this late in his career is impressive and shows how hard he works.
Well, some context on that. So he is, right, of 21 seasons he's played, this is his 5th best field goal percentage. This is his 3rd best effective field goal percentage, his best ever three-point percentage, and his 6th most assists per game of any season of his career. So what it appears to me is to offset some of the losses in athleticism, he has compensated by improving the three-point shot. And he said when he was asked about the difference between last year and this year was he thought last year being in and out of the lineup with injuries, and he talked about missing practices and shoot-arounds, that he thought that actually hampered his ability that he could have shot like this last year had he been healthy. But to me, what he's proving is I think he's further validating something I said at the beginning of the season that I was mocked for because it sounds silly, if you just read the quote. But I don't, Brew and I are lucky that we have been made fun of on the internet long enough that it doesn't bother us anymore. One of the reasons I think Wildes refuses to, as Brew puts it, let the tiger out, is because he's relatively new to people being mean to him on the internet. So you shy away from it. Brew's so used to it. Brew can take things people made fun of him for that he didn't actually say, like Wemby's going to be better than Hakeem, and then just be like, you know what, I said it. And everybody saying it. I said this a few months ago, and I believe it 100% to be true. He'll never be bad. LeBron will never be bad. He said it in the post-game interview. He's like, I'm not going to play another 21 years. I'm like, okay, well then my take's safe. Like in 20 years probably would be bad, but in 5 years wouldn't be. 5 years wouldn't be. Because you say we don't know, but we didn't, Brew, 5 years ago, even his biggest supporters would have said in 5 years he will be a shell of himself. LeBron in year 21 has now lapped the other year 21s put together. That's all of them. That's Vince, that's Dirk, that's Parrish, that's KG, that's Willis, that's Moses Malone. LeBron, Kareem, whose longevity was the best we had seen before LeBron. His last excellent year was year 17 at age 38. LeBron is age 39, year 21. Karl Malone, his last great year was year 16, age 37. Kobe's was year 17, age 34. MJ's last game with the Bulls was year 13, age 35. So doing this age 39, year 21 seemed impossible. So the idea that he wouldn't still be a really good player at 42 in year 24, like I just don't think he'll ever be bad.
Here's the challenge for that. And it's why there have been a couple guys that weren't, but obviously in football, Tom Brady, Jim Brown retired early. But the challenge for that is if you're not bad, like a lot of guys will keep playing until they're bad. You know what I mean? And I don't know that LeBron would do that, but that is that is why you see so few guys retire. I mean, Jordan, to be honest, wasn't bad. He never was bad, but he obviously retired multiple times. But yeah, I just think it's an interesting point. I think 5 years is probably I think that's too much. He'd be what, 44? But
I
don't know if he's still playing well, like averaging 23.
That's what I'm saying.
Is he going to retire?
So that's what I wanted to. So why?
Unless he's just on a bad team.
In 5 years, he's going to average?
No, I'm just saying.
5 years,
I'm not thinking.
That's kind of my point. Because I would argue this. Obviously, he is not only is he not peak LeBron, no matter what the numbers show you, he's not close to peak LeBron for a lot of reasons. Most notably, peak LeBron, I believe, was the best defensive player in the league. And he's, telling JJ, like, I got to pick my spots now on that side of the ball, things. But I don't think he is deteriorating year by year. I think he is better this year than last year.
Yeah.
I think that LeBron, because he's healthy this year,
he's
shooting better, is better this year than last year. By the advanced stats, and I understand like the raw counting stats, everything's inflated and all of this stuff. I get that part of it. But amongst his peers this season that are playing right now, he's 6th in the league in PER. He's 7th in box plus minus. He's 6th in value over replacement player, like those catch-all stats. So his deterioration has been so slow that he's gone from clearly the best in the league to clearly in the discussion to, okay, not the best or second best or third best, but in the discussion for somewhere from 4 to 10. So how much further, you know what I mean? Like, how much worse does he have to get each year to where you get to the point of like, you know what I mean? It's Willie Mays in the outfield. It'll never happen for this guy. It'll never happen.
I mean, we'll see. It depends on when he retires, But I think with LeBron, we just look at his winning. Like the numbers are nice. The numbers, like you said, people are putting up more inflated numbers in this year's NBA. But for him, it's about winning. If he's putting up these numbers and not winning, that's the thing with him. He probably wouldn't want to play in that situation. And that's why he might retire. But now, usually with guys, you can still put up numbers, but you get injured. He even said that in the podcast with JJ, is that I have to pick my spots, And so that's the thing. Like, he can do it, but can he stay healthy, like, for 60 games in a year to do it? So
another day, another record for LeBron. Chances LeBron wins another title.
I mean, if he stays with the Lakers for the rest of his career, I'd say quite slim. Because I don't trust the front office, I don't trust the coaching, I don't trust the drafting. Like, I just don't. I mean, even up to this year, you can be like, they don't have a lot of draft picks because it's the Anthony Davis trade. This year, at pick 17, they took Jalen Hood-Schifino. The 3 picks after him are all helping teams in the playoff mix right now. Cam Whitmore, Pods for the Warriors, and the best player, Jaquez, for the Heat. All guys that are, you know what I mean? And so, right after it, prior to that, the biggest pick that they had before they traded all those guys away, it was they took Lonzo over Tatum and Fox, which, by the way, I supported at the time, to be fair. But it's not. But, okay. I mean, I don't think the Celtics would have done it. I think that the Celtics would have taken Tatum at 1. So there's that piece of it. But he just had the first ever 40-point game on that few shots and free throw attempts in NBA history. He, right now, this season, Brew, is in the fourth quarter. You could argue, we can show it to you, the best player in the league in the fourth quarter. So, is he good enough to still be a top 2 guy on a champion? Unequivocally, yes. Are the Lakers, because I think the Lakers, Brew, are going to go after that third star approach, which I don't think is the right approach in today's NBA. I think that the talent pool's too deep. I think the approach they had when they won a title in LA is the right approach. LeBron, AD, and a good supporting cast. And so I think he can. I think with the Lakers it would be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I don't think he will. Now, I agree with you on the third star approach. unless, and this is the one way I think that he could win another championship. And this won't happen because this team is really playing well. If they somehow were able to get Kyrie Irving, and you're talking about AD, LeBron, and Kyrie. Kyrie knows how to play with LeBron. He'll defer to LeBron, respects LeBron. Like, that would be, I think they'd be able to win a championship. But that's not going to happen. Obviously, Dallas is happy with Kyrie. Otherwise, I don't see them winning it. And this is where it's a bit baffling to me. And maybe it's because we've been spoiled by LeBron's career. As you see, the numbers are very good. We know he's not quite what he used to be, because particularly defensively. And when he was in his prime, he would control the tempo of games. And that's what he can't do now, because he doesn't have the ball all the time. And he doesn't want it all the time because of the stamina. But I got to be honest, I think their team is good, like the roster. I mean, you got two legitimate stars whose games complement each other. Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui, I mean, Torian Prince, we could go down the line. I think they've got depth. They shoot the three well. They don't shoot it a lot, but they're in the top 10. They're, I think, 7th in three-point field goal percentage. So it's a bit baffling that with LeBron putting up these numbers, AD putting up these numbers and playing great defense, and the players that they have, the role players, that they're not better.
Is it so? Is it that baffling? It's not that baffling to me, because I think it just speaks to the depth of talent in the league right now. You're right that on paper the roster doesn't look terrible, but when
when I watch the games, though, I think these guys can play.
Yeah, but when you stack it up against the teams they're competing with in the West,
I mean, Denver's roster is that much better.
Yeah. Yes.
After really? I mean, KCP's playing a huge role. Aaron Gordon, who is good, but nobody thought he was all that spectacular before. He's the third guy.
So I think, but Denver also has the benefit of having the best player in the league, or certainly one of the few teams.
They found a way to really play great team basketball.
But so take Denver out of it, because Jokic, for a lot of people, is kind of a cheat code right now, like LeBron maybe a decade ago. You look at the Thunder's overall roster. Far better. Minnesota's overall
far better?
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
Hold on. We're talking about after their top two guys, right? Because everybody agrees LeBron and AD
But
are
I mean,
excellent.
the top two guys are a part of it.
No, of course.
I mean, you can't just say after the top two, because and even after the top two.
Yes.
Jaden Williams and Chet, who's young in his first year. I mean, Chet is, I get number 2. Josh Giddey, Austin Reeves.
Yeah, I think Giddey's better, and I think.
But it's close.
You said Jalen's the number 2, and Chet is definitely better as an all-around player than D'Lo.
Chet would be the second best, right?
Jalen. So you had
second best player on OKC versus AD or versus LeBron.
So and then Giddey and then Dort. You go down. I just look at the rest of the West.
I don't see how you can say OKC's roster is better overall. Now, they might have better coaching. This is what, if people want to start looking at the coaching, and they do with Darvin, I think Darvin's a good coach. But look, let's be honest. The Lakers have played good basketball for a few months.
Yes.
And we'll see what they do in the playoffs. So this may all, show out. But I think the roster is good. I really do.
Okay. Do you have him winning a title? No.
No.
You're no. So, and you think he needs to leave?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's what you agree, right?
You think he should leave this?
I mean, I don't think he will leave. I think that, and I'm not saying he should. I'm saying if the question were, if the only thing that mattered was best chance to win a title as a major contributor, you know what I mean? So I'll go sign with the Nuggets for the minimum. You know, that doesn't exist. Right. Then I would say yes, leave. In my perfect world,
Philly would be.
Philly would work. I also told you I thought, the fantasy camp of he and Steph teaming up in Charlotte is pretty neutiral territory. Steph gets to go to his hometown. LeBron gets to get a Trump Jordan, be like he owned the team for 20 years. They won one playoff game.
Good take.
Oh, yeah, I'll go bring you to the finals. That'd be fun, too.
Guess who's back, or almost back? It's Joel Embiid. Reports are that the reigning MVP could be back for tomorrow's game against the Thunder in Philly. He's been out since late January with a knee injury. Brew, how dangerous is Philly if Joel returns?
Dangerous. Look, there'll be 3 questions. And maybe they work through these in the 7 games he may play at the end of the regular season. Is there a minutes restriction? How's his stamina? And then thirdly, is Joel going to be as great in the playoffs as he's been in the regular season? He was playing better than Jokic, even when he got hurt. I mean, they were 26-8 with him. That's like a 62-win pace, I believe. And so they were playing great basketball. But we look at his numbers, regular season versus playoffs. Rebounds is fine, but scoring, field goal percentage, three-point go way down. And I tend to think it may be because he's always banged up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even if he plays, there'll be a game or two here or there that he has to sit out, or he plays, but he's only 80%. And that's where this year could really help. Now, if he comes out this year and looks good in these last few regular season games, and then in the playoffs his numbers drop off like that, then you know, okay, maybe it's not quite James Harden, but there's something like that going on. But I think, look, outside of Boston, now if they're the 8th seed, then they probably face Boston. I don't see them beating Boston. But outside of Boston and this team, because they play so hard, Miami, I think they have a shot.
You don't think they'd have a shot against Miami?
No, I think they'd have a shot against Miami, but I'm saying that'd be a tough one for them to win because of the way Miami's played, just the grit. Boston, I think, would beat them. After that, I'm not saying I'd pick them over Milwaukee, but I give him a good shot against Milwaukee and anybody else, obviously.
Last 3 series for Embiid, he's played 13 games, but he's missed 4 games. He missed the first 2 in Miami, then he rested that closeout against the Nets. Remember, we were like, that was smart, which you know is a problem. We're like, hey, it's good to rest when you're resting within the playoffs. And then he missed game 1 and the Celtics end up losing. LeBron, of course, has never missed a playoff game. So you see sort of like the dichotomy in the A block of like, all right, LeBron's never missed, still going strong at 39. Embiid kind of needs legitimate load management, and we think this is going to might be good for him.
Right. The glass half full idea is that he got the injury. I don't want to say got the injury out of the way, but is going to be fresher for this postseason than before. The glass half empty is this is 2 drastically different teams, and we can the fact that the Sixers have fallen as far and as fast as they've fallen. If we can show you them with and without Embiid, I mean that win percentage, like Bruce said, was right on Boston's heels. And without him, they're the Raptors, which I know I pitched this in the meeting, and you guys said you didn't want to do it. I'm doing it anyway. This is why, if they are the 8th seed, the Celtics shouldn't have to play them. This is why that the number 1 seed, can you imagine if you get the 1 seed, you're Boston, you get Philly, and you're Denver, and you're the 1 seed, and you have sitting there at the 6th line, or the Sacramento Kings with no Malik Monk. Or it's like, hey, by the way, congrats, guys, here's the Suns. They've beaten you twice in a row. They've got Durant and Booker. That's your prize for being the 1 seed. Of course, the top seed should be able to pick their playoff opponent. If you're Philly, though, you don't want to play Boston round 1, obviously. I agree with you guys that they are super dangerous. They would be, to me, similar to the Lakers last year, where they're a 7 seed in name only. And for the Lakers, it was because they remade the team on the fly at the deadline. For the Sixers, it would be, we were going to have one of the 2 or 3 best records in the sport. Our guy went down, but now he's back. And so, yeah, I mean, they would be, to me, the 3rd most dangerous team in the East. But if they stay in the play-in, one of those 2 teams ahead of them is going to have to play them in round 1. And so that would be a huge bummer for either the Celtics or Boston.
It's a good idea. It will never happen, but it's a good idea.
Really? I don't.
You don't think? Can I just pitch this is real quick?
I mean, you would say last year it could come into play, but maybe that's what I don't know. I just think you play who you play.
Right, but
I'm old school.
I understand, but in the old school, can I just tell you something real quick, Brew? In the old school, guys, everybody played almost 80 or 82 games. There was no ducking opponents. There was no right. But now that does exist, you have to do things to mitigate it. What we don't want is teams being like, we could be the 1 seed, but it's better for us as, a top seed to lose games at the end of the year, so we then drop in the seedings.
You know what Joe Mazzulla would do?
I don't know. Try to block Embiid's shot? I don't know what he would do.
He would just, we want Philly.
No, I mean, Mazzulla would probably be like, give us the Bucks round 1. We'll take it. Give us Denver. Mazzulla's out of his mind. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.